see this one killing. They make a follow, I'm really. That's who she do use me really. Want to.
Hi guys, you're welcome once again, and if you've been joining, we welcome you. And if this is your first time of seeing this, welcome. And you can also always check out some of our conversations, and I believe at least you might see one or two things to pick out of them. So today we'll be talking about interracial relationships, and I don't know if anyone has experienced a case whereby you're trying to share a particular, I don't want to call it like an inside joke, like a particular cultural joke, and you need to explain it to the person you're, like it's a particular thing and you need to explain it.
I get that.
So how did you feel about it at that point, trying to explain a joke? Because I feel if you're trying to explain a joke, then it's no longer a joke.
Yeah. I don't bother explaining it. I just feel like, don't worry. I'm like, don't worry. Like, it's just too much effort, or it just becomes awkward. I'm like, you know what, it's all right. And then that's why it's easier to just be with people that already understand the joke.
Just based on that, like having to explain some jokes and around other things too, is always my worry. Though I won't say I'm totally not up for something like that, but imagine I have to say everything. And there have been cases that something happens in the restaurant or anywhere you are, and you want to quickly
speak your language,
say some things, and then you're finding it hard to explain yourself to such a person. So those among some things have always been my own worry about getting married to someone of different race or something like that. Before we deep down into the conversation, so we have Emeka here joining us after a while.
Hi.
So it's good to have you again.
Back.
And also we have Dara. She has always been our mama. And then
I'm not the mama. You've forgotten the mama. She's coming back soon.
Our own is different. She's Mama Tunde.
Oh yeah.
Rema's auntie. So, and then we have our big boss here, Micah. So good to have you again. So based on this conversation, just that, and this is just my own worry most times, but I think maybe there are ways around it which we can also talk about, because
before we go deep, can we clarify something? Are we talking about interracial, like as in different race? Are we also talking about intertribal, as in different tribe within your country?
Obviously.
So where are we?
No, at first we were looking at interracial, and that is what we call the whole thing. It's more of interracial, because when you're even looking at intertribal, there are few things that are separate, but there are still some things that they are unique. So if I'm saying like let the singles breed or something like that, most likely Micah would understand that, despite the fact that we are not from the same tribe. Or some things like generally African terms and languages. But obviously, if I say something like that to an American or someone like that, she might not necessarily understand what I'm talking about. So as it goes down the spectrum, I think it widens as to that. Of course, there is still this part of the intertribal, but I feel if we can look at it from interracial, we look at it from a wider perspective. And of course, the side of the world that we are in, we know that we have different races here. So you have, what's it called? You have the whites, you have brown and all that. Like
the Asians,
different. You have the Europeans, all about that.
Yeah, like different races. Yeah.
So different races. So I don't know. Is this something that Emeka himself would consider?
I mean, one thing for me coming to Canada, I was kind of hesitant with talking to people of other races, especially white people. I don't mean to offend anyone, but my thinking was that there's no way that I can form a relationship with this person or this group of people. I mean, we don't have anything in common. I don't know you from anywhere, but I don't think that we can have a way to relate to each other based on where we're coming from. Us Nigerians, we live in a third world country, and you people.
So was it more because of because what you just saying
The
looks
country
more
status.
looks more like an esteem thing than just.
It was just my thinking at the time. I just felt that we won't really have anything in common, regardless of country status. Because
But how well are you getting along with? Let's even say, because I'm not sure. Except I don't know about the gist. I'm not sure that you have one white girl around the corner. So
Doesn't have to be white. Any other one.
or anyways, I just use that as an example. But I'm saying like, okay, maybe, or is there one that
I mean, I was seeing someone that was like.
you did tell me?
What's your business, though?
I mean, I was seeing.
Oh, God.
I was
You were.
I was seeing
You were in
someone.
a situationship.
It wasn't.
Or it was. Well, what's my business?
I mean,
Worried.
she was white.
Oh,
It was around pandemic time where we were just
that was even long ago.
getting to we were just
Know each other.
getting to know each other. I mean, I saw some things in her that reminded me of myself. I was like, okay, maybe this can work out. Maybe this can be a long term.
I like gist too. Do you mind to share this?
Should we open? What about you? What about you? What's your most recent? Your most recent exploit?
No, we are not talking about exploit. We are talking about interracial.
You say you like gist.
Obviously, yes, but obviously, I just said it like it's always an issue for me looking at it from that perspective, and it's just like personal. But I'm open to it. Why not? If one, and anyways that comes
For real?
Yeah.
Like wait, for real, as in like. Not saying sure if it's possible, or in terms of like, have you thought about the whole bringing your parents, family, everything down the line, not just dating, but actual.
If it's possible, would they say I shouldn't marry?
I don't know. I'm confirming that for real.
For real.
Okay.
But I think my car supports the whole notion.
My motion is, I don't think it's a big deal because it's just normal. It's even within Nigeria, there are still
tribes.
Not tribes. There are still jokes people don't get. Like, just even people from the city I stayed in, which is Lagos. It's just, but I just feel jokes or commentary or those situations are just one small aspect of relationships.
Maybe because I'm short-sighted in a way. What are the other aspects? Because I feel like if I am married to someone, it's more of the friendship than any other thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. So if we're talking about friendship and the bonding is not totally...
Yeah, you would bond over other things, not necessarily a joke. You would bond over fights, you would bond over
similar experiences
because you're starting a new relationship. You would, at the end of the day, I'm someone that I'm very adaptable to any culture. So for me personally, it's not like a big deal. Coming here, I never brought any Nigerian food because I didn't see the point to it, and I still defend it up to today. Like, there's no point traveling halfway around the world to eat what you just left. Why did you then travel halfway around the world?
But you didn't travel around the world because you were tired of what you were eating.
Yeah, but what's the whole point of carrying? So when does your taste glands start adapting to where you are currently?
I didn't necessarily travel because I want my taste glands to adapt. Obviously,
so at what point do you start adapting into your new climate then?
I think adaptation left to me. My own adaptation is more of how do I relate more with these people? But
does not include changing who you are.
No, I still eat their food, but that doesn't necessarily changing.
Food is part of that.
Yeah, of course, but I won't say because I want to adapt into their culture.
You stop eating what you originally started with.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes
and
sense.
Then saying, "Oh, this is just it." But of course, we just had one rubbish. Sorry.
Call them out.
No, I still stand by my word anyways. But we just had something and I didn't really enjoy it. But that doesn't mean if I find myself in that gathering.
Which one will you choose, Nigeria or?
I still do better now. No, it depends. It depends on the dish. There are some dishes that I might choose the other one over
Nigerian food.
Yeah, if you're giving me eba and okra now and I see pizza, most likely I might go with pizza. If you're giving me pounded yam and egusi and then you're giving pizza, most likely I'll go with the pounded yam.
Even still boils down to the relationship. The whole idea is you're experiencing someone's a culture different from what you're used to. It's a matter of, do you want to experience it, or are you open to the idea of experiencing it? If you're not, you're not. If you are, you are. Same way the other person too has to. You also have to consider the other person too has jokes in their own culture that you don't get.
True. True.
Going the extra mile to explain it to you. That's even what you're even going far as saying black. You're even going far as saying black or white. Ghana, Nigeria. That's even the way we address.
Left to me, I beg to differ, because I used to have a Ghanaian friend that we get along well, and most of the jokes we share, they were pretty similar.
Because you guys may consume the same similar content. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
the thing. Like, so could you say that about a Jamaican?
I've never had like a Jamaican friend
or
like
a Kenyan, or South African.
Yeah.
Or
another example is like Zimbabwean. In my place of work, we get along well, though. But
there are some jokes.
Thinking about it right now, thinking about it right now. Of course, I think that there is still a place you can also get along, even with everybody, irrespective, because there is a common ground, irrespective. Because I'm just thinking about it. Even all people of all the blacks that are from other countries, we get along easily. It's
easier to get along more than I feel like if you're from the same continent, it's easier to I don't know. It's just easier more than
the respect thing and all
that.
Then
there are more similarities within
the fact
same.
That it's different. But if you're talking to a let's say even some part of Asia, they still have something very close to Africa. But let's say maybe Caucasian or something, that they are a bit different. Like even when you're saying that you have to call someone uncle something to show as a show of respect, they look at you like, what are you talking about? So
that's culture, because they were not brought up that way. It's the same way you struggle because you can't call your uncles by their name, because it's not just how you were brought
exactly.
up.
So left to me, how do you now manage the cultural shock?
That's the biggest thing for me for all this stuff.
I don't know. When it comes to, I feel in-laws, if I can put it that way.
It's not that deep. It's just a matter of how open are you. It's not that deep.
So for this interracial stuff, in terms of, I'm thinking about interracial marriage, not necessarily like relationship. What, like, first of all, the different cultural stuff is already a thing, right? Which is adapting to one culture. Both of you are adapting to each other's culture. I mean, I'm for the easy life, when something that you already know, the culture that you already know and you already understand, instead of trying to learn another one. But if you are willing to go through that one, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. But also another thing is that if you're looking at marriage or interracial marriage, marriage is between two families. It's not necessarily you and I. Well, from my own perspective, sir, it's two families, right? And it's going to be easier if your family is already, no problem. It's not that big of a deal. But if your family is someone that is very reserved towards like that, it's. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's not going to be easy. It just increases the difficulty already. So it's already difficult in terms of two cultures. Then you now want to go and put in families that don't even understand or are not willing to share or it just increases the difficulty. So interracial stuff is possible, it's good and all that, but it's just difficult. That's my own. It's just difficult. Racial, tribal, culture, race. It's just more difficult, honestly.
So looking at the family thing that you just mentioned, like, okay, there are situations whereby the family makes it work. But because I'm just thinking, based on what Micah said, like, it's not too deep. But sometimes it is.
You guys have not given me a scenario that is too deep.
No, there are families that have issues with the in-laws based on the fact that she cannot.
They're not just open. It's as simple as that.
And then that's the reason why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, you can't
just say like, okay, be open and that's it.
Yeah, if someone.
How do you manage situations like that? If
the person is not open, there's nothing to manage. It's as simple as that.
So the person should not go for interracial.
About it? Like, I love this girl and she's
Yeah,
let's say,
and you go on. That's that.
And I'm saying that people around me, let's say my parents, are not necessarily in support of things like that. How do you handle such? You forget about it, or you go on with the marriage, and you forget about them.
Yeah, you go on with the marriage.
So, is there no other way you can handle it? At least,
it's not my role to make you open to the world. Is that my job, or am I supposed to convince you to be? I'm someone of, I don't convince people of ideas. Your ideas are your ideas. If you believe them, fine. So if you're not open, and it's normal for our parents not to be open to the world, fine. It works for them. Your people's opinions are their opinions and their views. So it's just normal. Like, it's the same way. Are you open to all the cultures and traditions your family has? No. Like, do you do all of them? No. You go with the one that is cool with you. Anyone that is not cool with you.
So, in summary, what you're saying is, like, you don't care about them if they.
It's not a matter of care. It's not my duty to force you to be open to the world.
There are some things you do sometimes that would.
So are we saying like the marriage will not hold because my parents can't accept the culture?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what would you do in situations like that? Would you just forget about your parents, that it is your business, that you're not open to this, and then I go on with the girl? Or
no, normally you tell them your parents will be aware, right, of the person you want to get married to. It depends on if your parents fall on the spectrum of they want you to marry from a certain tribe. No. And even before you even talk of interracial, that's already a problem. So they are only open to, they want you to marry from your tribe. Mm-hmm. So even if you brought someone from Nigeria from another tribe, it's still a problem. Mm-hmm. Not to talk of if you now brought someone from another nationality.
So in situations
how
where...
do you now do such situation?
It's a matter of what are you willing to do. Are you willing to marry the person, tell the family this is what you are doing? If they accept it, fine. If they don't, you still go on with marriage, or are you willing to let the person go to please the family?
So left to you, let's say you're in that situation, which I don't know what spectrum of the divide are your parents.
Yeah. My mom is open to...
But let's say she's not open to such. Yeah. And then you see a girl that you're interested in and not Nigerian, or let's even say they're not open to like intertribal relationship. So what would you have done, or what would you do in situations like that? Would you just forget about?
You explain the situation to them. You hear them out. Everyone tries to meet at the middle. If you can't meet at the middle, everyone does what's best for them. It's not that deep. It's not that you like that. Is that not life? Like you compromise. Your parents, hey, I love this girl, this and what I see in her, stuff. If they can't meet you halfway, you having that discussion is because you want to meet them halfway, right? Mm-hmm. They can't meet you halfway. What happens?
You let your parents go.
Left to me,
it's not like you let your parents go. Yeah, you send them.
It's an ultimatum in at the end of the day. It's like either this or that.
Putting the ultimatum. They're the ones putting the ultimatum. So are they going to? So. Okay, they put the ultimatum is, I assume the ultimatum will be they're not going to give you your blessings, they're not going to give you your blessing, or they're not going to come for the marriage.
So if they are doing that, you don't care?
It's not, no, so when you say don't care, it's
like,
don't care. It's,
you move on, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
you move
moving on doesn't mean you don't care. Moving on is, this is what I believe. Belief doesn't have to be with care, it just has to be, decisions have to be made, regardless. So if you call off the relationship, like I always say, let's say you call off the relationship because of your parents, can you live with that decision? That's another question you need to ask yourself. You go on with the marriage, can you also live with that decision? Which can you live more with?
Because left to me, except that you mentioned it later, because you were saying something around...
no, the discussion to meet at the middle is very important.
Because exactly, because I feel the discussion, but you said what you said earlier was like you can't change anybody's opinion.
Yeah, but you can't change.
It's their opinion. But definitely the discussion makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, but you're not trying to change. You're just telling them, where can we meet at the middle? If we can't meet at the middle.
That's still like changing in a way, because they are compromising.
No. Yeah, compromise is not change.
It's not change?
No, compromise isn't change.
So wait, now this is what I believe in. And I'm not ready to change my beliefs for everyone. Yeah. But now I'm saying that, okay, you can go on with it. Is it still not like me accepting?
You're not changing your idea. You're just saying, I would accept this and this for this purpose. You're not
but
changing.
in a way, if you're accepting it, that's like you're going against
what you believe.
You're going against your ideas.
Yeah, just for the greater good. You're like, okay, this is our son. We love him so much. We would compromise to go. What are they doing? He's giving you their blessings, right? And attending the wedding.
So wait,
does that change that belief? Does that change that belief of are they open to the world? No, it doesn't. It's just that son they would attend the wedding. Just because they attend the wedding doesn't mean they're open to the world.
I've seen cases where they attend the wedding and they also change over time. So left to me, you can't necessarily say you cannot change.
To them, not you.
But it takes time.
You are also part of the whole process.
Yeah, but it's them. So
because there are some things you also do. You can't say it is just up to them without you also playing your part.
What I'm saying is, no matter what you do, if they are not open, it boils down to if someone is not open to the change in the first place, there's nothing you can do.
You guys are talking about technicality of whether you're open. You're going too technical in terms of you're going too specific. But the main summary of it is that as long as they are willing to compromise, you are willing to compromise. Is that what you're saying?
It depends on if we can meet halfway at the table. If we can't,
what will be your own? Well, that's even my own thing about interracial marriage. Is not even necessarily you have kids, all right? Even intertribal, interracial, whichever one it is, you have kids, right? You have this tribe, this person is of another tribe, or you have this culture, person is another culture. When it comes to decision making of, you're Igbo, I'm Yoruba, or you're Hausa, I'm Yoruba, I want to name my kids Yoruba, but you want to name your kids Hausa. Like, it's just the little details and things that come up.
Is that a big deal? There's always, children have 12 names. What's the big deal with that?
I think there is
the way it's being brought up.
There's
stuff.
More like religion,
because
there are different values in different culture, different tribes.
I feel there is a lot
race.
to just expect when you do it. There's nothing wrong with it, and of course, it's something that can go on with me anyways. so that you won't say that.
Yeah, putting it out there. For me, I'm very honest. Just being honest, I don't think I can. I wish I could, but I don't think I can.
How did you travel halfway around the world if you're not embraced of other cultures?
I didn't travel halfway around the world.
Not embracing other culture is different from.
But that's what it boils down to. Is you not choosing to embrace other cultures.
No, I want to still stay within my core culture, even though I traveled around the world. It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Now, you embracing other culture is
I'm okay with other culture. I'm not against them. I'm not doing anything. Sure. But I don't necessarily have to be with them. I still want to be with my people.
Left to me, I think it's all about mindset. But because I'm saying that I want to get married within my race or anything, doesn't mean that I do not celebrate other race. And doesn't mean like I'm putting down other race. It's all about... I feel something important is compatibility, and compatibility can happen even in the same race, even in the same tribe, irrespective. But there are some things that I cannot compromise, and I see that if this would not work, even for people in the same tribe, then I do not go on with it. So if I'm saying that I know that this culture thing will be an issue, that doesn't mean I do not embrace it. It's just me saying that I know myself. I know that I would prefer something of this nature, and this is what I'm going for. So if another guy is saying that I can walk around this, that doesn't change the fact that I do not have issues with him doing that. But I just feel like it might not necessarily be the best for me, myself. And for someone else, it can work pretty fine. And that's
I have a question / a situation. So, okay, you meet someone, right? I know you guys are okay with interracial or whatever, but in terms of if you were not necessarily for it, you meet someone, you guys are from different culture, but then you are not really like, there's the culture, tribal or racial clash, and you necessarily like, I don't want to bother with that. I want to go with someone that is within. But then you meet someone that is from another outside your race or culture or whatever, and fits the ball perfectly. But just because you're scared of, the clashes that can happen, do you still go for it, or do you still stay?
Can you be specific with these clashes you speak of?
It's just
apart from the jokes you gave.
Not just
even
jokes,
beyond jokes.
But the way
she even gave another example of the names And that could be
let's
family. There's so many things.
Let's dissect it.
Okay.
So you're in Nigeria and you want to marry Canadian. What would the name be? To be English.
But why can't it be Yoruba?
Now, let's
it could be Yoruba and English.
Why? So why?
Wait. Emeka, I'm sure you have an English name, right?
Let me give an example. Now, let's say the guy doesn't care. Like he's saying, the name of the baby will be Stone. It can be people will bear such names.
Yeah.
And for me, based on my culture, my child cannot be Stone.
Yeah. So it depends on.
Now the issue is that's the first issue. Okay. Even the English name, we are already having issues based on that.
What's the issue there? I want to understand.
I don't want to name my child Stone.
Nigerians have English names.
The wife is saying.
Listen,
the wife is saying, see, my dream name since I was born is to name my child Stone.
Yeah, but that's not cultural.
Like Bush.
That's not cultural. That's ideology. That's not cultural.
But it stemmed out of the culture. Like this is the name.
So is
I
there
can
a
give my
meaning?
child.
So what you're arguing now is you want a name that has a meaning. One person wants a name that doesn't have a meaning. It's just different ideology.
That's even number one. Like, okay, this kind of to add to it might have a meaning.
The name might have a meaning to the person.
Exactly. That's even what I'm saying.
Just for the person to justify
it might have a meaning. Exactly. So that's one. And
so
now,
are you saying the person justifies the meaning? And you still don't accept?
Yeah, because...
So you're not accepting because you have the perception of Stone.
Based on your culture...
No,
Stone is something.
Yes,
no. It is. That's what
yeah, it's still part of...
So
all ideologies are literally stemmed out of culture.
So it boils down to what the person interprets, what you are concluding.
But you guys have different interpretation because of different cultures.
Exactly.
You guys have different interpretations. Stone is bad for Yorubas, but them saying, "Oh, let's do Stone is normal." It's okay. That's already a clash.
And that's even cultural
because it's different.
You don't want it in the child's any form in the child's middle, last, or.
And that's even the first one. I've not even finished it. Now, even the Stone is already an issue. And then you're saying that, I would like to name my child a Yoruba name as the first name. So as to show
that you're Yoruba.
That I'm a Yoruba, but at least to keep my heritage. And the lady is saying, why would this come
want English
I want this, and this is
so
the Stone I want.
That also boils down to if the wife looks at the husband as the head of the family, who makes the final decision?
So that's even another problem.
Put it in terms of me. I go and say I want to go marry someone that is Asian or something like that. And me, I've always wanted a Yoruba name for my child. But because I went to go and marry someone that's from Asia and supposedly is the man of the house.
Did you marry him because you would take him as the head of the family and his decision is last?
So I cannot name my child. I cannot name my child Yoruba name anymore.
You can still name, but it boils down.
Because if I marry someone that was Yoruba, it's whether the man is head of the house. It's going to be the other man, and it's going to be Yoruba named our name. It's not. It's going to be a Yoruba name.
But Yoruba people, the first name is English.
I'm not talking about first name or second name. I'm just saying that the first name is even what I'm talking about.
Of course,
the first name.
It would even be easier for you guys to compromise because it's like
it's either for the woman going to another culture, another tribe.
That's just.
It's either for a woman going to another culture, another tribe.
I feel
it's way harder than
left to me. I feel the summary of this whole thing is openness and having this open mind of anything that comes with it. And of course, I think it's with all decisions in life. Anything that comes with it, then I'm ready to go on with it. And one thing I noticed, and the reason why I said I do not mind if an interracial relationship comes in is if you're vibing with someone and you do not feel those things you're talking about as an issue, I don't think there is any need to say that, no, I must marry from this race, I must marry from this race. But now if it's more of, okay, I want this kind of girl, and then you're not vibing and you just...
Yeah, because even when you're vibing with someone, from time to time, there are some jokes one person will crack, one person doesn't get.
That's the reason for saying like, the only reason why I'm open to such is, okay, if there is just something, maybe usually the movie, maybe we are going on the road and we jam ourselves and a book fell and then I picked it up and then the relationship started from...
That's how it works, okay?
I'm just joking.
That's how it works.
If something starts from that, okay, maybe I can then go with it. But I'm saying that looking at all odds and then putting your cards on the table, it might not necessarily be something that would come to me as the first option.
Well, relationships are about compromising itself. So
I'm not saying
I
won't
say
compromise,
something
and that's
at the end of the
saying like it comes from if you're really vibing and all that. Of course, there are a lot of things that you compromise when when you are in love.
You guys, I think it's way easier for the guys to say yes to interracial marriage than it is for a woman to say yes to an interracial marriage. Just for the example of the man is the support, like if you are going to take the man as the head of the family, right? You are entering into even you are entering into
the woman is the head.
No, but then
let me say culture. It might not necessarily be race. There are cultures that
but they're not a lot. They are more a lot of cultures are more patriarchal than
and some like it's the same way though. Like it's not like.
But the thing is that a woman goes and is supposedly entering another man's family. That's the ideology. Like you're leaving your family.
What I'm saying
to enter another family.
Let's use
so
this
you
white
change
guys as an example. Let's use this white and then Nigerian. Nigeria is more of the culture of you submit totally. Like the man makes the decision and all. It's changing though.
It's patriarchy.
But it's more of that.
What we are.
And usually I don't totally see that in the white
yes. There's a clash like that.
Though,
that's another
something
clash.
about it is I know that in a way the man still takes the role, but it's not the same at the same level. At which we have ours. So in situations like that too might have an effect or rubble or on some things. Exactly. So let's say as a Nigerian man, I am coming with that mindset of I am the head of this house, as you said, and you have to take the name. I'm naming the child. A white lady will never just come as that. Like okay.
There are some that are like that. It's not all of them.
My question is: did you see that before going into the marriage?
Obviously, there is a possibility of seeing and there is a possibility of not seeing. It depends.
It's not everything you see. Not everything is open.
It depends.
Not sometimes marriage is. I suppose they are here though. Is when you start learning about
when you are getting to know, and that's always been my stick from day one of the podcast. People are based on ideologies. When getting to know someone,
why the ideologies are stemmed from their cultures too. You can't take that out.
That's not even where I'm
even
going.
Religion too.
But when getting to know someone, based on their ideology, you know where they fall on. So you can't tell me you don't know a woman that you would have that conversation and you people will now be debating who is the end of the house until you get married. Do you
know that there are some women that would not necessarily show you that part, and there are some men
not something
that
shown.
not
It's an
necessarily.
ideal. Your ideas are shown every day.
But do you know that there are some people that there are some people that try camouflage and shows you another ideas.
Did you marry under a week?
They are low. See, it's still possible though. But I think let's not just go to that. Yeah, there are a lot of people that will be in church and show you the spiritual aspect until you get home and you see like this is not what I signed up for. This is what I'm saying.
So that depends on what you're looking. That's what I'm saying. What you're saying, spirituality is what is shown. Ideology is what you see it in the person. Your ideology is everything you do. So you can't fake an ideology for so long.
I don't understand this ideology stuff. You have to explain it to me separately because I don't understand the concept of your ideology.
So in the courtship, you would see that is the conversations and how the person moves around the conversation. You get how the person thinks. And you would know if when you finally marry, you will know how that person, it's like...
do you mean like values?
Sorry, but
your values
just an example.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
I get the
Micah,
ideology.
I have an example.
I get
conversation. That's why I asked, if you married on that 1 week, obviously it's hard for you to get a picture of how someone perceives life on that 1 week. But if you are in courtship for 1 year, you can't tell me you don't have a perception of how this person perceives life, because in that 1 year...
But do you know that you can have a perception of how someone perceives life and it changes over time too?
People are bound to change.
Exactly, so that's my point.
But in that 1 year, you've seen different scenarios and how the person has handled different scenarios. That's giving you how this person...
But that doesn't mean that when you
it's
now
not
get
all
married...
the scenarios you see. Because like... if you did not live with the person, you don't know how the person takes care of their...
No, but
how the person wakes up,
you guys will live together for a while. It depends on how you want to practice.
That's not the Nigerian courtship that they don't live together.
That's another
clash. When one like we live together, let us live together. Another one say let us live together. It's different.
For people to live
it's not about...
No, it depends on what you believe and then traditions too, in a way. So of course that also comes in.
I'm just saying that they are just different, but there are different ways of living. You guys, I don't live this like you guys are.
I think the only thing left to me, I'm taking out of this, is being open-minded And of course, if something is happening, trying to think that, okay, but my own fear when it comes to that open-mindedness is that when your eye clear too, and you now feel like, oh, I think I can do this, but I don't think I can.
That's what I'm saying. You for real?
That's the only fear that I have, because it's easy to think that, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this when you're in love. And then when you guys are now together, of course, we've had cases of marriages that they were so much in love and they divorced after a while. Obviously, something must have happened. So when your eye clear after those times, how do you handle situations like that? And that's my worry. Like, are you sure that you are really open-minded, or it is just for love? I just feel like weigh your values, weigh your ideologies, as said.
But Toby, for that one, I don't think is a tribe, race or tribe, because it's for anybody.
No, exactly.
Anybody can say, I will do this for love. I will do this. Sure, no problem. Sure, no problem. Sure, no problem. But then the reality of it is that, can you actually, like, the day comes, will you take your husband?
It's in any situation, even irrespective of race or tribe. All I'm just saying is, it widens.
It becomes more difficult, I said.
The whole thing, like, the differences, as the differences widens, then those things actually widens. That's my own thoughts. Of course, there are people, even in my tribe, even in my town, raised in the same environment, that you will still feel like this might not work for some reason.
Obviously, now.
So it's not even all about that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, like, now, if I'm open-minded, that, okay, I believe this should work as, okay, someone from another race or everything, then be sure that you are really open-minded to the point that, okay, can we build this friendship and bond on things irrespective of our race, irrespective of our background? And if you believe that it is something that is possible, irrespective, and you won't feel like you are missing out on some things. You know, there are situations where you're trying to say something, and this is just left to me. You're trying to say something, and you feel like, oh, I'm really missing out. Or if it's this kind of person, now she would have. If you do not feel like you are missing out on some things and all that, like you are ready to make it work, why not? So that's just my own thoughts around it.
But yeah.
I don't know.
As I said, my own is, it's not as easy, but it's possible. And they're just different. It depends on the two people. If they're willing to make it work, and not just willing as in saying mouths like we're willing to make it up, but if they are actually, like, in their dating experience, they are already making it work, right? The family is already together. Like, if it's already working for them, and it's not that big of a deal, then no problem. But if you're someone that you know there are some particular things you want, that, oh, Yorubas, I want this particular thing, like, babe, if you are the man that say, I want my woman to kneel dance, she gives me food, but you now want to open your eyes and say you want to go and marry someone that does not even care about that.
Exactly.
That will not work out. No matter, like, it may work out, but hey, it's more work. That's what I have to say. So just if it's something that both of you guys are, it's working for you all. Family don't care, both of you don't care. That's not a problem. But if it's something that you care about one particular thing more, and it's really, really important, and that person you don't see eye in eye to eye with that person with that thing, and it's a cultural thing, then it's one of the challenges that you would have to face or overcome.
I don't know.
That's my opinion.
I don't really care, honestly. I'm just remembering when I was in high school, I was on the phone with my mom, and she asked me, she told me, she didn't ask, she told me that when I'm getting married, I shouldn't marry a white girl. I'm like, why? I don't really recall what she told me exactly, but she just said I shouldn't. And then very recently, I was on the phone with her again, and she asked me if I'm open to. Well, we're just having a discussion because I don't know. Recently, everybody has been asking me if I have a girlfriend or if I'm married. I don't know.
They are chasing you down.
But it's important, so you two go have a girlfriend.
When I'm not ready yet. Where's your own girlfriend?
You can't ask me. I'm telling you, like, you need a girlfriend in your life.
So, everyone has been disturbing me about girlfriend and. If I'm seeing anybody.
Don't take your time. You're getting old.
Take your time. You're young.
She's deceiving you.
I just thought that I don't really care if the person is white, the person is Indian, the person is Nigerian.
So he's single. Summary of the story.
What do you say?
If you want to know, it's alright.
So for him, he doesn't really care. And
I know where Micah stands.
Life is not that hard.
Life is not hard.
Yeah, too chill for this. Yeah, too chill for us.
Left to me, I just feel like, and as he just mentioned, even individuals have their own biases, and it's stemmed out of everything, different things. So weigh your options. Be open-minded. That one is important, of course. Be open-minded to the things, because you can miss out on important opportunities, seriously, when you're not open-minded. Be open-minded, but also weigh your options. See which one can I do and do perfectly well. I believe with this. I pray that you find love. Anywhere you find it.
But honestly, the people that are open to interracial, I just pray it's easy. Like, some people, it just comes easy for them, right? It's not a big deal.
Yeah, because I've seen.
So I pray it's I just pray it's something easy.
They are really doing well.
It's easy.
Based on social media, anyways, because you can never tell.
I don't know what goes on behind.
Like I said,
doors.
I don't know what's hard.
Yeah. It's easy for you. It's not as easy for me.
There wasn't an example that was given that I would say, this is one hard, something that we had to clash about.
There are still points.
Is he kneeling down?
You've just decided to see it as not hard. To someone that is very opinionated and very cultural, it's a big deal.
I'm very opinionated.
You're
not cultural.
You being opinionated, okay, we know where you stand, and that's the reason why you are not seeing it as hard. So obviously, you can never see it as hard. So that's okay, anyways. No, everyone knows that you're opinionated. Oh, we do. Exactly.
Right.
So, thank you for listening, and share your thoughts around interracial relationships generally. Let's see, why would you even consider it, or even if you are not going to? Just like Dara said, the kids, that's our own problem.
It's not necessary that there are other things. There are so many other things that it just feels it's possible, but to me it's more of a other situation than it's not as easy for me as it is for Micah.
Yeah, so let's know your thoughts, and thank you. If you have not subscribed, I want you to subscribe. It's the like button, and also share your thoughts around it. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.